Let's go ahead and get into today's content. Again, my name is Theo. For those of you that are used to seeing Tiffany, apologies. She's just feeling a little under the weather, but we'll be back again on the 8th for that special edition of the Mindfulness broadcast. So you can look forward to seeing her then. One additional piece of information about that broadcast is there will be a little bit more security in terms of the Zoom meeting for that. And so you will be just needing to enter your name and password, or sorry, your name and email address rather, into to get into that Zoom meeting. So just a heads up, it's just for that special broadcast. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get into today's topic. So today we're focusing on equanimity, and equanimity as it relates to mindfulness. And we'll just start with a couple of definitions. The first coming from the interwebs. Equanimity is mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially in a difficult situation. And then in terms of the mindfulness applications, we think of equanimity more as something that's combining an understanding mind with a compassionate heart. So as we continue our practice of mindfulness, these are actually natural attributes that we start to take on, because mindfulness is really, again, just the practice of bringing more awareness to our human experiences. And in doing so, we start to relate differently to the content of our own experiences, and that naturally begins shifting the way that we relate to our mind, our thoughts, and also how we relate to our emotions. So it's naturally leading to a more understanding mind and a more compassionate heart. So a really simple way that I like to think of this is yum yuck. I don't know if anybody's heard this before. It's kind of a shorthand for Buddhist psychology. So we're out in the world experiencing all the things that we humans experience, and then the highs and the lows, the challenges and the triumphs. And we tend to label things. We tend to use, and this is the shorthand that can be really helpful as we experience our lives. We think of things as yummy or yucky, right? So maybe yummy would be the experience of falling in love, or yummy would be having a delicious treat like a cookie, or it could be a bonus at the end of the year, like a nice addition to the bank account. Yucky could be anything from being stuck in traffic, having a fight with a spouse or a family member, any of those kinds of things. And in terms of Buddhist psychology, really what this amounts to is what's referred to as craving and aversion. So we tend to crave the yummy and be very averse to the yucky. We're constantly wanting to get more pleasure and less pain. And according to Buddhist psychology, this is the root of our suffering. So this is where we run afoul of our life circumstances and kind of, I think many of you have probably heard the adage, pain is inevitable and suffering is optional. So equanimity is where this really can kind of come into play, right? Like, how are we relating to the experiences we have? How are our judgments about the experiences we have contributing to the challenges that we face? So let's unpack this a little bit more with a story. I've always loved this story. It's been really helpful for me, and I hope it'll be the same for you. This is the story of the farmer who lost his horse. So this farmer has a horse, and one day the horse runs away. And all the people in the village say, yuck, how bad that is for you. And the farmer's response is, maybe not, I don't know. And a few days pass, and the horse returns, but the horse returns with 2 wild horses. And all the village people say, yummy, how good that is for you that now you have 3 horses instead of 1. And the farmer's response is, maybe not, I don't know. And a few days pass, and the farmer's son is training one of the wild horses, and the horse bucks him and he breaks his leg. And of course, all the village people say, yuck, how bad that is for you that your son has broken his leg. And the farmer's response is, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. And a few weeks go by, and there's a war that breaks out. And the army comes through all of the villages and conscripts all of the fighting age men to go fight in the war. But the son has a broken leg, so he can't serve in the army. And the village people say, yum, how good that is for you that your son doesn't have to fight and potentially die in this war. And so you can see that this goes on. And you can see that this farmer has what we would consider equanimity. He is relating to the circumstance of his life in a way that is holding all things as possible. He realizes that he doesn't know what's good, what's bad, what's yummy, what's yucky. And another way that we can look at this is from the metaphor of the tree. So oftentimes we're really focused on the tree as it exists above the ground. And we don't pay much mind to the root structure that lies underneath that ultimately gives the tree its strength and its resiliency. And we could really think of a lot of the experiences and challenges that we have that we maybe would label as yucky as being the things that help nourish this root system. We can look back on our lives and see a lot of the challenges that we've overcome as providing this strong root structure, such that when the winter storms come, this tree is not going to blow over because it's got these strong roots. So it's another way to kind of contextualize the idea of equanimity. So I wanted to just invite you to do a short experience yourself with the idea of equanimity. So I'd like to invite you to just go ahead and close your eyes if that's comfortable. If not, just keep a soft gaze. And notice the way that you're being held in place by gravity. Notice the support underneath you in your chair where you may be sitting. Notice your contact with the floor. And bring your attention to the natural inflow and outflow of the breath. Allow any tension to settle insofar as it's possible. Release the shoulders. Soften the face. And then I'd like you to bring to mind something that would be a yum in your world. Could be as simple as a dessert or a yummy food that you like. Could be the embrace of a loved one. Could be the way that you feel sun on your face on a summer's day. And just notice how you feel in your body as you imagine this positive experience. And now I would like for you to imagine something that would be more of a yuck. Think of perhaps being stuck in a long line and knowing that you might be late to get to the next place you need to be. You could think of something that feels like criticism coming from a coworker or a loved one. And notice how the sensations in your body shift as a result of that. And a simple question here can be, can I be with this? And then what I'd like you to do is to hold both the yum scenario and the yuck scenario simultaneously in your mind. And if it's helpful, you can utter these words to yourself. May I have a calm and balanced mind and heart. May I have a calm and balanced mind and heart. And notice any shift in the experience. And know that you can always return to this practice, whether it be during a morning meditation or even in the midst of your day. There's always an opportunity to shift the relationship that we have to our human experience through this practice. So in a moment, I'm going to chime a bowl and bring us all back into our spaces. So I'd like to thank you for joining me this morning. I would encourage you to use the yum yuck idea as you navigate your life. Just notice what it's like as you label these things and notice if there's a story behind that. Notice if there's a way that you think something is ultimately bad and maybe question it. Again, we're just trying to harness the power of awareness as we go about our lives. I'm happy to stay if there's any questions, comments. Otherwise, I wish you a lovely Friday and a lovely weekend. And I hope that this has been a little bit useful as you navigate whatever challenges your life is throwing at you right now. Thank you so much.